Two more players in the airline business decide to join forces. Southwest Airlines will buy Air Tran for about $1.4 billion, giving Southwest a presence in 37 new cities.
But what will it mean for Hopkins and the Akron Canton Airport? We have team coverage of the buyout, starting with Bob Jones in Akron. And Bob, Air Tran is a big player at Akron Canton.
Well, that's right. Air Tran is certainly a big deal at Akron Canton Airport. The low-fare airline has been there for 14 years. The question is, will it stay if this Southwest acquisition goes through? Well, no one can answer that for sure, but airport officials and passengers are watching very closely. Before boarding an Air Tran flight bound for Orlando and Disney World, the Imes family from Hudson learned of Southwest's billion-dollar plan to buy Air Tran.
I think that it'll be a good thing, I think as long as Southwest continues to come into Akron, or will come into Akron, I think that'd be great.
A lot is at stake for Akron Canton Airport, and passengers realize that.
Air Tran's been here, and they've been here in our little local airline for a long time, so we'll have to see what happens.
Air Tran is Akron Canton's largest carrier, moving about 75,000 passengers a month, or half of the airport's business. 14 Air Tran flights take off here each day.
I'll tell you this, we're bare-fisted fighters. We're going to fight hard for flights out of Akron Canton Airport. We're the 7th most affordable air market in the country right now.
Airport spokesperson Christy Van Auken expects the deal between Southwest and Air Tran to be finalized in the first half of 2011.
When the combined carrier comes together, they'll have 40 new cities on their route network, and so that's pretty exciting for us.
Van Auken is hoping Southwest expands at Akron Canton, not take away Air Tran's current departures and arrivals.
There's 100 different potentials of how this whole thing can play out, and what we don't want to do right yet is to speculate on what their network's going to look like moving forward.
University of Akron economics professor Mike Nelson says Akron Canton Airport could recover from a worst-case scenario, losing Air Tran.
I think the evidence suggests that there is a large market to be served here, so it would be in their interest or some other airline to come in and fulfill that need.
And today, a spokesperson for Akron Canton Airport stressed that this deal is not finalized, and passengers that have upcoming flights on Air Tran should not be concerned about any cancellations. Live at the Akron Beacon Journal tonight in Akron, Bob Jones, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Bob. Well, Southwest already operates out of Cleveland Hopkins Airport, and that's where consumer reporter Jen Strathman is tonight. So, Jen, will this buyout mean that Air Tran will move to Hopkins?
You know, that's a question that the airport director is not ready to answer. He says it's just too soon at this point. Southwest is the #2 carrier here at Hopkins, and with the #1 Continental already in merger talks, there are big questions here, but business experts are optimistic.
The Southwest brand and culture will take over if the merger with Air Tran is approved. But will the discount ticket prices stick around with less competition?
I think it's going to be higher prices and fewer flights, which is not good.
They're always inexpensive, so I think in order to stay competitive, they'll have to keep their prices low.
Southwest says the merger is spreading low fares farther and that it hopes to remain in the vast majority, if not all, Air Tran markets. That doesn't sound good for Cleveland, but Baldwin Wallace business professor Phil Bessler believes Cleveland has the upper hand in this deal.
The natural tendency is to favor mergers that the acquirer dominates, and therefore Southwest is in Cleveland.
Cleveland's future is already up in the air with the Continental and United merger. Continental agreed to keep Cleveland a hub for at least 5 more years. But what happens after the deal with the state is up? Bessler says Continental could stay longer because it may see Southwest as a threat.
It could be a very positive benefit for Hopkins, where Continental keeps more flights here to reserve all their gate spaces and not allow Southwest to acquire more takeoff and landings.
It may also drive Continental prices down. While we don't have answers to a lot of questions, one price that Southwest says won't change: baggage fees. They'll remain free.
We liked that we didn't have to pay for a baggage, which was a real plus.
There are pluses and minuses to all of this consolidation, but it's a theme experts expect will continue throughout the years to come. And while we are seeing one thing changing with all of these mergers that's very visible, there's something happening behind the scenes that we're not seeing, and that affects the price you pay for a ticket. Coming up at 6, I explain what co-cheering is and how it could impact the price you pay. Live at Hopkins, Jen Strathman, News Channel 5.